Hello and welcome to video 17 of the Licensing Education series by AIC, a partner of American Senior Benefits. Please watch each video all the way through once without taking notes and then go back and take notes. You'll find that you retain more information that way. If there are any topics you would like me to do a deeper dive into, please comment to tell me the specific information you want me to go over. Thanks for attending and let's get started. Alright, so this video is going to go over the optional and other provisions of health insurance. These provisions are not required, but if they're included in the policy, they must each be worded using specific language. I'm going to explain the provisions, but I'm not going to go over the specific language, and you shouldn't worry about learning that. So the first is change of occupation. For some types of insurance, for example, disability insurance, they have premiums or benefits that are different based on how hazardous a job is. If the insured changes jobs, the premiums or benefits may need to change. If the job is more hazardous and the insured doesn't notify the insurer so they can start paying extra for the more hazardous occupation, the benefit would then go down to match whatever level of benefit the premium would have paid for at the new hazard. However, if the insured changes to a less hazardous job, the premium would be reduced and the overpayment would be returned to the insured. Next is misstatement of age. If the insured is older than what is stated on the policy and the policy gets more expensive the older one gets, then less benefit will be paid on claim. If they're younger than what's on the policy, the insurer may either give them more benefit or return the overpaid premium. Next is other insurance with this insurer. This provision prevents policyholders from being overinsured. It either limits the total amount of benefits someone can have at one company, or it limits the number of policies that a person can have at one company. Insurance with other insurers prevents the same thing. If you have policies from two or more companies, it usually works by each company paying a proportionate amount of the actual loss. Okay, next is the average earnings provision. This relates to disability insurance. It makes it so that the total amount of disability insurance benefit can't be greater than the insured's actual income. Okay, the unpaid premium provision. The unpaid premium provision allows the insurance company to deduct any outstanding premiums from any claims. The cancellation provision. The cancellation provision allows the insurer to cancel a policy. The cancellation notice must be in writing and cannot be within 5 days of the notice of cancellation, so they have to give them at least 5 days of notice. This only applies to policies that are cancelable. The provision also states that any unearned premium must be returned to the insured. All right, the conformity with state statute provisions. This says that if any provision in the policy isn't in line with a state statute, it's automatically changed to be consistent with the state statute. Even though this provision is technically optional, most states do require it. Next is illegal occupation. It says if the insured's loss is from committing a felony or working in an illegal occupation, then the insurer doesn't have to pay out. So if you're a bookie, for example, and your injury is related to being a bookie, then it wouldn't have to pay out. And similar to the illegal occupation provision, the narcotics provision says that if the loss was related to intoxication from either alcohol or drugs, the insurer does not have to pay out. Okay, the free look provision. Most states require a free look provision. This allows an insured to inspect a policy for a certain number of days, like maybe 10 days after delivery. If they decide not to keep it, they can return it for a full refund. Okay, the waiver of premium provision. This provision eliminates the premium of a policy if the insured is disabled for some minimum amount of time, like 3 or 6 months maybe. And it continues to be waived until the person is no longer disabled. The renewability clause. This specifies the rights of either the insurer or the insured when it comes to canceling or keeping a policy. With cancelable policies, the insurer may cancel the policy at any time. This doesn't allow the insurer to get out of paying for a loss while the policy was in force, though. This type is uncommon and not really that good for the insured. Optionally renewable. Optionally renewable policies are similar, but may only be canceled on the policy date or the premium date. Conditionally renewable policies may be canceled by the insurer, but only if some specific condition has been met, like moving out of the service area of a policy. Guaranteed renewable policies make it so the policy can't be canceled unless the policyholder stops paying for the premium for the policy, and the rates can't go up on an individual basis, but they can go up based on a classification of people, like a policy that covers all salvage divers, for example. Non-cancelable policies can't be canceled unless the policyholder stops paying the premium, and the rates can't be increased at all unless the rate increase was specified in the policy. All right. The exclusions and reductions provision. All right, exclusions and reductions either eliminates or reduces a benefit for a specific risk, like war, self-inflicted injuries, overseas travel, etc. If the insured has an extremely hazardous occupation, sometimes they'll exclude any loss related to that occupation. And if you have one that excludes things related to your occupation, it's called non-occupational coverage. Okay, pre-existing conditions. This provision says that a condition or conditions the insured had when applying for the insurance can be excluded from coverage, either for a specific amount of time or forever. Not all conditions are excluded. It depends on what the insurer actually puts in the policy. Increasingly, health insurance is including a case management provision. This basically reduces the insurer's cost by having administrative oversight of healthcare, like using second opinions, pre-certification, reviews, and requiring alternate forms of care. Okay, so those are the optional and other provisions. The next video is going to get into underwriting. Please like and subscribe so you get notified when new educational videos are released, and thank you for watching.